There are several key primary races to keep an eye on. This as the outcome of the Pennsylvania Republican Senate race is still unclear at this hour. It's amazing. And joining us now is Pennsylvania Senate candidate Kathy Barnette. Kathy, great to have you here. How do you see this playing out? Obviously, they're going to do a recount, but you are now in third place. Where do you see it going with the top two?
Yeah, well, I see a lot of lawyers getting a lot of money. I think they're bringing in their lawyers and bringing in their volunteers. And this is going to be, it's really sad for the people. I think, especially coming out of 2020 with, for those of us specifically on the Republican side, it's quite disheartening is what I'm hearing among the people of once again having to sit back and wait and an election not being definitive. So my heart goes out to the people here in Pennsylvania of wanting to know who that person is going to be to represent them in the fall so that we can get busy winning, right? Because it's very important that we do so.
Will you endorse whoever wins?
Will I support whoever comes out of this? Of course, right? If right now standing, trying to pick between the two is like, trying to pick between 6 and 1 and a half dozen and another. There's very little distinction between the two. But whoever should prevail out of this process, absolutely, I want our party to win.
How disappointed were you that President Trump didn't give you that coveted endorsement? He endorsed Dr. Oz, as we know, and currently he's got a great track record. He's currently standing at 85-3. That's an amazing record. How do you think that might have changed the race for you, Kathy?
Everyone wanted Trump's endorsement for obvious reason. His endorsement carries a tremendous amount of weight and influence, opens up doors, would have made my race so much easier. I believe we would have been a shoo-in to win in the general election. But nonetheless, as I said once before, MAGA does not belong to President Trump. He coined the word, but the movement in and of itself, it belongs to the people. And what we saw with my race is that although we can walk and chew gum, we can appreciate what he has done, and we can appreciate his voice still today, but he's not Jesus, right? And we're not in a cult. He gets to be wrong, and the people saw a lot of his base, saw that he was wrong on that endorsement, and so they were willing to pivot away from him. And so going forward, my hope is that the president, get better advisors for one, but then also, really take into consideration the makeup of the people in these states that he does not live in, but want to have an opinion, because I believe that his voice is very valuable, and we want that voice, in this race. Our nation is in trouble. There are people who are very anti anything America first. And so we need our people, our voices, such as Trump's, to remain strong and viable and a leader. And we don't want him picking people that go against what MAGA actually stands for.
Were you surprised at how much incoming you were taking in the final few days? I saw that debate, which of course was fabulous. I thought it was such a powerful debate. And Kathy, you really had the line of the night, opening up about, very personal things in your life. And it really helped you. You took off, and then guess what? As you knew, the barbs were out. Were you stunned at all of the comments that went after some of the Muslim comments, some of your military record? It was like, did she sneeze when she was 3 years old?
I know,
Were you surprised?
Right?
Like it was like you were the one to go after, but that's a compliment at that moment.
Yeah, you know what? It was interesting, right? Because on Friday night of last week, I was being told that I am a member of Black Lives Matter. But then by Monday afternoon, I was being told that I'm actually marching with white supremacists, right? So they couldn't pick which one I was. And I think at that moment, the goal was just to sully the vote, right? Just to create a cloud of ambiguity, which again, it goes back to the people. It's very unfortunate because we have a lot of people who were confused, and they were confused because of the lies that were being sown and the disinformation, and no one felt the need to prove anything. They just needed to throw out a lot of dirt. And so that's very unfortunate. For me, I mean, I was undeterred. You did not see me fall back on my heel because I know who I am. I have lived an extraordinary life. I am, I don't walk into a room asking to be admitted into the American dream. My life is the American dream. I come from dire poverty, and using the values that I found within the Republican Party, I've been able to create a pretty nice life for myself and for my family. My team, we ran a brilliant race. It was far superior than my other two. And because the media was obsessed with the two men in the race, they never paid attention to what we were doing. But the real story is truly the people of Pennsylvania, because they made me relevant. I didn't have the money to buy them. I just tapped into what it is that the people were experiencing.
Well, you shot like a rocket ship. You should be very proud of the job that you did. And Kathy, thank you so much. We wish you so much luck in the future. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.